Whew. What a day. Hey guys. Who else needs a drink today? My goodness. Just absolutely wild. How we doing tonight? MM number one in the hizzy. What's up, sir? Kevin Biller second, McLovin third. Things are getting heated, says MM. Yeah, we're not talking about Russia tonight though, too much. We got more pressing things to talk about. Well, I don't think, never mind. Call stuck more pressing in World War III, right? Anyways, what is going on? What does everybody think about today? Listen, lots of new people on here. I've been getting lots of new people from Gamestop. Love it. Welcome. I'm Ace. I am macroeconomist, political scientist, and I like to go over everything. Tonight, we're going over the wild ride of GameStop today, and we're going to talk about where it could still be headed and what today means, because it was wild. So welcome, community. Who's in the hizzy? Oscar Big O, Avalon, McLovin, Auto Max, Toe Cramp. Welcome. Kevin Biller. Yeah, Trump's conviction might get overturned. Losers. Kiddos don't have me tied up, man. It's too late for that. I was just getting my stuff together. I wasn't going to keep you waiting like Roaring Kitty. Saw my tweets? Yeah, Jeff. What a wild night tonight. I had to bring a beer. I wouldn't call it a nice one, though. I went cheap. I was at Aldi tonight grabbing some meat and food, and so I grabbed their version of Blue Moon. It's fine, but it's nothing special. You got in at 28. That's beautiful. Just Mike in the house. Ryan raising billions. What's going on, KYP? Believe there's more to RCing today. I do too. We're going to talk about that. But I tell you what, in the moment, it sure was wild. Oh, thanks, Peter. I think I'm good now. I do. A couple of those jerk-offs deleted their channels, so K was not good. I got to tell you that live stream was terrible. But it might not have needed to be much.
Can I talk about GameStop?
He's replaying it like nonstop on his channel.
The funny thing is that I have a lot of the same feelings about everything.
But I'll tell you, I've had a lot of time to process this and people to talk with. And sorry, I know the sound's playing. There is, I think, a lot more going on than meets the eye here, and so we'll get there in a second. GameStop after hours yesterday, 62 destroyed today. Made Kitty's stream kind of sad. I'll tell you what, there is So I talked to a buddy of mine who's law enforcement, real good dude, smart dude, and he made a really good point. He said, what I saw today, well, and there's more to this, but I'm just going to start with this. There's definitely more. But the first thing he said is that this would be the perfect thing to show that they did, that he's not pumping. It's the perfect way to get out of getting in trouble, which is he comes on and the stock is tanking, and while it's tanking, it's also getting halted nonstop. And with 700,000 people watching him, he was able to show that, listen, like, you guys calling me a pumper, it's not going up while I'm on here. He didn't say that, but it makes sense. But there's some other stuff going on too, and we'll get to that. Anthony, while everyone's distracted with GameStop, Congress and the bad actors changing rules to win, they're not going to win. Michael, so much short interest is cash grab by Cohen for the... Yeah, I think that offering... Well, I was even upset I'll admit, when it first happened, I was upset. I was like, why do this when we're running again to kill it? But it makes sense. Did you know, by the way, they need 120 million shares to cover if he exercises all his calls. And you know what they did? 45 plus 75, which is the last two offerings, is exactly 120 million. Interesting, right? Very interesting. Those shares all got gobbled up. And I'll tell you that, well, I'm going to show you guys some math here in a second too, and like what it could happen, but also what the effect of today's volume was, which, by the way, The volume today was absolutely bananas. Let me pull this up. All right. So 279 million volume today and just 6 million in after hours. Everybody was tuckered out at that point. That's nuts, guys. 280 million. That is insane. So those shares all got bought up today. I bet you they did the offering right away. All those shares got bought up. And then the short volume is crazy too. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second here. What's up, Big JR? What are meat prices in my neck of the woods? What a question. I mean, it's North Carolina, so it's a little cheaper than other places. But I think if I go to Aldi and get beef, it's like just under $4 a pound for a hamburger. And then steaks, depending on the steak, are anywhere from like $7 to $13 a pound. So, I mean, it's not terrible compared to a lot of places, but, you know, more than I want to pay. RC cashed up. Whole option chain was in the money at $65, so close. So, Aaron, I think it feels like that, but after a lot of thinking, I didn't want to come on earlier for a couple reasons. A, it's Friday, but B, I almost came on live in the afternoon just for a little bit, but I could tell I was a little too emotional. Plus, there was still other streams going on. William was on, Jackie was on. I didn't want to interrupt all that, but we had a lot of time to think about this, and I don't think it's as bad as it seemed. I really don't. I actually think there's a lot more going on here. I think they're priming this for something really big, and I know it sucks because I did take the window of our sales for the squeeze today, because I really do believe that you saw today, if you were watching, stock was up this morning. It ran up over 40. And I do believe that if they hadn't announced that and they hadn't released the bad earnings, that I think there would have been a run today, and I think we could have broken 7,500. But it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter because they're playing a longer game here, and not that much longer. I still think this could very much squeeze in the next 2 weeks. I really do. So thank you, Mark. Yes, for reminding me. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you, peeps, especially new peeps. Guys, I'd love to get, I got about 200 watching right now. I'd love to get, 100, 150 likes to get started. Last night, I just want to tell you guys, was my biggest live stream of all time. And I had 900 at one point, which was awesome. I think I would have broken 1,000 if I'd stayed on, but I got life. I got other stuff to do, even though I wanted to stay on. It was awesome. But also, most likes I've ever had, I think 600. So pretty fantastic. So hoping to keep that going as well. And really excited to have all the new people in here. So I appreciate you guys checking this out. What are Kitty's taxes going to look like after he sells? I know, nuts. It did seem like he was rambling. So I want to say that, listen, there's no way. You're right. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, if you were just watching that stream and you didn't pay attention, anything else, you didn't know what was going on, you're just watching this guy for the first time, he came off like a complete tool. He did. I'm just saying it. And I don't mean he is. I'm just saying that's what he looked like. He was drinking, just rambling, saying nothing. I mean, he barely gave us anything the entire time. I was at lunch just listening, being like, what is happening? And I need to go back and watch it because I was more listening than watching, and I realized he was showing stuff on the screen that I didn't see. But after going through everybody else's tweets, talking about with other people, there's definitely he was sucking people in, and he accomplished a couple things. He showed probably close to 1 million people, if not 1 million people, all the halting going on in the market, all the manipulation, really raised awareness in that area, which is huge. Because this last time GameStop ran in 2021, nobody was educated. So he brought up a lot of education levels right there, okay? But on top of that, he showed that he hadn't sold. He showed he wasn't pumping or manipulating the stock by himself. There was a lot accomplished in that live. There was, even though it was honest, quite frankly, let's just be honest, it was hard to watch. So, Kit, too many get emotional day-to-day trading in GameStop. Just wait. The price on the 27th. RK was fingering E-Trade Morgan Stanley. It's a chess game. Plus 11 cash per share. Nvidia's 1278. Oh, yeah. I forgot Nvidia's split. That's crazy. Brad, I don't think everybody's upset the squeeze that happened. It's more strategic move, building cash reserves to make acquisitions. 100%. If they sold at the right place today and were bought up at the right time, they could have made another $2 to $3 billion today. Houston Wade was salty. That's funny. I don't really care, but that's funny. Yeah, no spikes down after 28. They said, listen, so somebody said this and it made so much sense to me. It was brilliant. That with that acquisition, that new money they're putting down there, they set a new floor. Okay, so before on the last run, they did the 45 million offering, went down, and we hit like 18. Well, now, like, we'll see, but the new floor might be 26. It might be 25, it might be 28 on Monday. So that's beautiful. And that's something we got to look at too. They set a new floor. That'd be huge. You know, he was so giddy because he can't lose. I know he lost like 250 million while we were watching, and he's just laughing. It's just crazy. Because of the dilution, we'll never know what happened today. I don't know. Apollyon, I think people are giving RK too much credit. That was actually my first impression as well. Because I never watched him live back in the day. I didn't. I've only seen clips, and I'd seen pictures and stuff, and then I'd seen the movie. But I never actually watched one of his live streams. And I was thinking, this is the guy? Are you for real? But listen, and I'm not a hero worshiper. I'm not one of those people who thinks he's perfect. But I do believe something else is going on. I do. It just doesn't make sense. And let me tell you why. This actually gave me a lot of peace after I was watching that and thinking, like, this is the guy we're trusting. The guy that we saw today came off, like I said, a tool. He just looked like an idiot. And yet, that guy has accumulated so much in calls, played this perfectly for almost 3 years to set himself up in this position. Whether he's getting help or not, it doesn't matter. He still played it well. And the fact is that he's already proven by his, like, you know, do as I say, not as I do. No, do as I do, not as I say. That's where you really find, you know, put the axe to the grindstone. He is shown us that he's smart. He's shown us, but what we saw today as he talked, he didn't look smart. So there's definitely more going on there. I give you that, or I believe that for sure. On cocaine. Do I think there's still life in GameStop, Kathy? I don't think it's even really begun. I mean, I think we're at the end. I think this is the end game, but I don't think the run has even begun. Okay. I think the play has begun, and we're in the end game for the squeeze. I think the squeeze is coming soon. I think they're setting us up to go in the next couple weeks, and maybe it takes longer, but this all roads are pointing right now to June. But yeah, this run, in my opinion, has barely started. You told your friends to watch him and felt stupid. I don't think it was a plan to screw retail. I really don't. I think they're playing a longer game. Charisma, you're in Charlotte. I'm in Concord. Could I imagine if Rowan Kitty had to pay unrealized gains on taxes? Oh my God. Yeah. Could you imagine? That's not going to happen. Thank God. I thought he peaked at almost 700,000, but still, if you consider, so that was how many are watching at one time, Hobbs. If you consider the people who checked in over the course of the hour, I guarantee you it was close to 1 million. He should have had a halt counter. Well, that's the thing. He wasn't doing it like it. It wasn't, what'd you call it? He wasn't being obvious. Okay. And he hasn't been obvious about anything. You think about his posts, not obvious. All of them are just, you know, memes, videos, whatever. None of it's obvious. He's not being obvious on everything. All right. But let me show you guys this. Where is it here? All right. So check this out. 76% short volume today. Can you believe that? Like, I know it went down, so it makes sense they were shorting it, but that's nuts. Short 76% on 279 million shares. That means the short position just went way up. On, let's see, let me do the math here. On 279 times 76, 212 million new short shares added. Okay. It's the short volume is now at all-time high. I mean, listen, guys, even though the dilution added to the float, they added 75 million to the float. Well, they added 200 million to the short position. The float, what was added to the float was more than doubled, almost actually tripled. It was nearly tripled in the short position today. So that means the offering didn't hurt the run at all. It didn't hurt the short squeeze at all. That's what that means. Isn't that crazy to think about? That is so nuts. So it was halted to downside, halted to outside. Wow. Jimmy's done. I totally disagree. He came off as cautious, says Emilio, being careful with his words. I do think that might have been part of it, because it did seem like he wasn't saying anything. And if you come on after all that and you're not saying anything, absolutely, it seems like caution. I completely agree with you. How come a person lost 200 million and still laughing? Because he knows he's got him trapped. And that's the only thing that makes sense. Or he's a psychopath, which we'll find out. But I don't think he would have gotten this far if he was a psychopath. You know what I mean? So I just don't listen, I'm not a hero worshiper as far as like this. I don't think he's perfect by any means, anything like that. But you also just have to look at the facts, the context of it all. If you just watch that hour, yes, you think this guy's crazy. What the hell? Why is it? This is the hero. This is the great GameStop man. I mean, what? Are you kidding me? We're all in trouble. That's what it felt like. But you have to remember there's over 3 years of context here. And we cannot take an hour and let it ruin the rest of the context. And to me, it's not that he's a perfect hero or anything like that, but there's something going on here. It's also completely possible he just wanted to come on live, and I don't think this is true. But let's just say, for argument's sake, it's completely possible he was liking all the attention. It was like, maybe it's time to go live again. He went live, thought he'd have a little fun, didn't really know what to talk about because he was afraid of getting into trouble with saying too much. And so he just talked just to give us all something. And it just so happened that while he's talking, because it's not like he can predict everything that'll happen. There's no way he could predict 7 or more halts while he's talking. You can't predict the number. But you could have predicted with all the attention that something weird could happen, right? And so, but I think, that's also another possibility. He just came out and acted a fool and whatever and thought that it would really amp everybody up, and he made a mistake. That's also possible, but it doesn't affect the play. Do you understand? It doesn't affect the play because of these morons. Look at this. So GameStop, after its offering, might have up to $5 billion in cash reserves, despite having a terrible earnings. Listen, I told you guys, GameStop's a dying company. I said that way before earnings came out. Earnings proved it today. The earnings suck. So they are moving the company, though. They're moving it from being just storefronts to being and online shopping for games. They're moving it to being a holding company. And this is how they do it. They're flush with cash. So they're flush with cash. The short position now negates any harm that offering did. And they're still trapped. It really is getting better, guys. It really is. So just nuts. By the way, Mike E., thank you so much for your generous donation. I greatly appreciate that. Give you a little like there. And Mike, hey man, anytime you want to give a donation, like please put in a question or comment, because I will definitely prioritize you and make sure I get to you, because I can't get to everybody's when the chat's running so fast. So thank you guys for the super chats, greatly appreciated. All the time I put into this, it's always appreciated to get a little something from that. Brett says, rumor mill speculating the Ryan Cohen setting up something to compete with Amazon. Amazon, really? Why would you want? See, that doesn't make sense to me, but it is interesting, Brett. It doesn't make sense to me, and this is why. The reason is it makes much more sense to me just become a holding company, like a stock holding company, like a Berkshire Hathaway versus another retail. I just wouldn't want to deal with all that. And it said, his heroes are Buffett and Icahn. So it makes much more sense for him to do that. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. It was trade shares for cash, not shares for debt. RC can now buy shares too. Really? I didn't know that. I remember when he first came into GameStop and he said he wanted to buy shares. So let me jump ahead a little bit here. You're going to focus on NVIDIA? Well, Fredo, good luck. I think after NVIDIA splits, guys, I think it's gonna go down. It might have an initial run, but I think it's going to go down. I really do. I think they're going to suck in a bunch of retail and cash out some. Hearing an Emmy for acting like a tool, removing the focus off himself and putting it on me? How do you put it on me? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, listen, I thought that maybe, just maybe. Now, this was pure speculation. But I was thinking, like, how crazy would it be if he exercised his options on the stream, which he obviously didn't do and obviously shouldn't do, but that would have been wild. Yeah, I'm right around the corner, Charisma. Thank you. I love it here. It's great. This is where my wife's from, and it's we love it. We love it. She's happy to be home, and I'm enjoying it. Samantha, yes, I'm familiar with Asperger's. My son has Asperger's, my oldest. Why would he be drinking beer, acting a fool, showing up 30 minutes late? Because two reasons. I already gave you the reasons, but I'll say them again real quick. Number one, he really is playing it perfect, and he wanted to come on. And in the stream, what he said was not the point. What was happening during the stream was the point. And he accomplished a few things by doing that. And okay, so that's number one. And then number two is maybe he just came on and was drunk, acted a fool, was dumb, and still accidentally accomplished some things. So either way, it's a win. Either way, it's a win, even though he looks ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. There's going to be people who are pissed off by it, not impressed, gonna lose hope, bail out because of it. I get it, but it's not enough to ruin it. These people are entrenched. They are entrenched. So it's not going to be easy to get rid of them. I do think he could have been performing an act. Now, I don't know if he has it in him to be like the guy who shows up and throws down the hammer XRQ. He just doesn't seem like the personality type. But he came on late because the squeeze not coming in. It's going to be later. Now you're talking like every little thing means something. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's CIA. But who knows? He didn't drop GameStop. That wasn't him, Grace. What dropped GameStop today was terrible earnings came out. They released them early, which was strategic. Terrible earnings came out and a cash offering came out that diluted the float. That's what tanked GameStop today. And the shorts jumped on it. This morning, they were already going to take advantage. You could tell as soon as pre-market was up, they were getting it down a little bit. That was obvious. But then when we opened, we started running up. And then the earnings started getting passed around. The share offering was announced, and then it tanked. And the shorts took advantage. That's what happened. So I don't think they were actually trying to moon it today. I really don't. He still hasn't sold, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think he might be taking more. Absolutely. Yeah, Brett, you're right. He accomplished showing that he's not the pumper dumper. Yep. Send a message to E-Trade. That's probably true too. Yeah. Only those who drink spaghetti out of a straw didn't put a like in the video. Thank you. Please like my video while you're at it too. You straw drinking noodle heads. Does he strike me as someone who might be an Aspie? I don't know. I didn't see enough. It was hard today. I don't know because he was putting on a show. I guess it's possible, but it's really hard. Some people just have a persona on camera that's different than what they're like in real life. So it's really hard to tell. I would have to see him interacting with people. Kitty always shows up late. Oh, so he's fashionably late. See, I come in 2 minutes late and everybody gives me crap. Right, GameStop Max Payne was 28 with all the crap we've seen. You know they were trying to get to that dollar amount. Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. And here's the deal, guys. I think we're still up for the week, aren't we? I mean, you got to have perspective. Perspective matters. I think next week we're up again. I really do. Do I see us better off today than yesterday? Well, it's hard to say yes because obviously in after hours yesterday we hit 67. I thought today we could really have a powerful day. It's hard to say yes because I think today really could have continued what I think had a short squeeze begun yesterday. And so that's hard to say we're better off today because who knows what the actual ramifications of this are. They could play everything perfect and it could still slightly screw up the price. You never know what exactly would make it go higher. It's impossible to know. But if you're asking me from a fundamental standpoint and from the point of, do I think that there's still just as much a shot? So let me put it this way. There's still just as much a shot to go as before. And I've already proven that because they've upped the short position, okay, and they've got to set a lower or a higher bottom because of all the cash on hand. So they accomplished that. Fundamentals are better, and the dilution was wiped away by all the shorts going back up, like adding 200 million to the short interest. So because of that, there's no harm done by the dilution. So the squeeze is the exact same spot as it was yesterday, except for the momentum. But as far as what can happen is the exact same spot, and the fundamentals got better. So yeah, you could say that you could say overall we're in a better place, even though it hurts from the price point because we all want it to go fast. We've all been waiting for a squeeze forever, right? And that's what's tough. JR, his live chat was flying so fast, it looked like a slot machine spinning. He got dizzy. He was all over the place, man. All over the place. You know, I'm just saying, not to toot my own horn, but I did have a few people say, like, hey, we like watching you more than Kitty. I'm just saying. I'm going to leave it right there. He took it off the screen. Yeah. If there was any naked counterfeit shares in GameStop, you know it. There are. Earnings actually came out last week. Nobody noticed. What? It came out last week. Are you for real, Brandon? How'd that not get passed along? With all the scrutiny on GameStop, you're telling me they put out earnings and it wasn't passed along? That doesn't seem right. Kid, he knew CNBC was watching. Andrew left, played it off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is so funny. Like, let Finger's new partner be Apple? That would be crazy. GameStop community is the only meme stock group list that's comparable to ours with depth of knowledge and commitment. GameStop will run. I think it runs first. I do think GameStop's still going to run first at this moment. I really do. I think this is happening. Like, I think there's a strong chance of this happening in the next 2 weeks. I really do. And I love that you said that, media. I don't know if I would say, because GameStop people are so big. I would say their top people definitely as knowledgeable as this group, but the commitment is for sure there. I agree with that. Finger and Apple, a rumor. It's a rumor that doesn't really have much to it except for the fact that Apple's getting some stuff done in China that would seem to coincide with what Finger's doing. So it's kind of a let's look at two different things and put them together rumor. Oh, I know. Biden would shut his pants in Normandy. That's absolutely crazy. Did you guys see this in after hours today? In after hours, GameStop hit $63 3 times before shooting back down. It says no one would pay 28 to 63 times unless they're in serious trouble. Now, You see these little candles that hit in after hours? Isn't that wild? Now, not to, destroy what that means, but here's a little perspective on what it could have been. So Bam writes, GameStop price spikes to $60 showed up after hours today, where out of sequence trades took place during the first 2 hours of trading pre-market. This is similar price manipulation I caught people doing in AMC on July 24, 2023. People on the active space call don't understand the price manipulation tactics. It had nothing to do with the day session halts. So he thinks it's still manipulation, still shows like big stuff going on in GameStop. But he's saying they were out of sequence trades took place during the morning and they just cleared them at night in the after hours. But either way, I mean, this is nuts just to have these spikes in after hours. So you better believe, guys, there's still so much more left in GameStop. This is nowhere near done. Just telling you right now. You're hoping Finger would come out some today. All I know with Finger is that something's coming really soon. That's all I know. Nobody knows the exact date, but I had some good phone calls yesterday and today about it. And so stuff's coming real soon. I can't say the day, I don't even know it. But what I've heard is that things are coming very soon. So just hang in there, guys. Biden's the best Ukraine president. July 12th. Finger. What's July 12th, Kit? GameStop options for Kitty do 621. That day's option is quad witch. What? I didn't know it was quad witching too. Holy smokes. That is crazy. Wow. I didn't know that. That could be nuts. So that's 2 weeks from today. Holy crap. It's quad witching too? Damn. Jeez Louise. Wow. Okay. I did not know that. That's big. All right. Check this out. Short sale volume of GameStop is almost double what it was in 2021. And I don't know if I agree with this, but, I don't know this guy well enough to know if he calls stuff correctly or not. But next week, GameStop goes to 160. If it goes to 160, that's a new all-time high, by the way, because of the forward split. But, I mean, here again is the short sale volume. Look at that. There's 2021, little guy. Woo! This is now. That's just sick. That is sick. Unbelievable. Now, Lauren, you tried to tell people May 8th, that this was coming? Well, we get a lot of rumors around here. We get a lot of people telling stuff is going to happen. It's impossible unless you have your own conviction to trust everything that's put in the chat. I'm sorry. It's not personal. It's not personal. You know how many times? Listen, I got somebody tell me about FFIE at like 40 cents before it ran up. I didn't buy because I didn't know. I didn't look into it. And when I did look at it, there wasn't enough for me to feel confident about it. And then it ran. I'm like kicking myself, but I can't buy everything. Nobody can. There's so many rumors all the time. And if I bought every rumor, I'm telling you right now, I'd be down because more of them lose than not. E-Trade would be stupid to kick them off. They're not going to kick them off. Nah, there's no way. Why does it seem CEOs are not allowed to sell through a squeeze? They all seem to sell before it. I don't know. Well, if you're talking on a personal level, a lot of them have restrictions. But if you're talking as far as like the offerings, listen, there's only 2 reasons to sell before a squeeze like today when you put up a share offering. A, it's to raise capital when your stock's really high, okay, and hopefully come back again and squeeze better later because of what you just did. That's what I think GameStop's doing. B, you're actually feeding the shorts and try and in cahoots with them, and they own you for whatever, blackmail, they paid you off, whatever. That's the Adam Aaron run. And that's what Adam Aaron does. He sells before every time AMC could squeeze, or during every AMC shot at a squeeze, and he just ruins it on purpose because the man's a crook. So that's the difference. But those are really the only 2 reasons I can think of. Kid Biker, you think Arcade Point was a show? He's the one really posting his positions real. Well, I do agree with that. That's a good point, because there was a lot of speculation that it wasn't really him, that somebody owned his account now. So he did. He showed his face. He spoke for about an hour and just proved that there's no way that's not him, or it is him. There's no way it's not somebody else using his account. So, that is important. So now we know for sure that he is behind it. It doesn't mean he's not being helped, even though he said he's not. But, it's still, I get playing options, everything. I get how he could have accrued that much money to get to this point, even though, before this all started in 2021, 2020, he was worth like 50,000 in the stock market. I get it. In 3 years, that's an incredible run to get up this high and be worth that much all of a sudden. Make those kind of buys. I'm always a little skeptical that you can pull that off so easily without just majorly catching a short squeeze and selling. But it's possible. I'll just say it that way. It's possible. But it's also possible he is being helped, even though he's not talking about it. But whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Just as long as it runs. That's all that matters. It did feel like a betrayal at first, Sloppy, until you see what happens. And then by the end of the day, it didn't even matter. Pump Monday, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement built up over the weekend, and I would not be surprised if Monday it starts pushing up again. That doesn't mean we'll rocket Monday, but after today, I'd kind of be shocked if Monday's not green. I kind of would be. I knew today was going to be an attack, or at least I knew they'd try. I didn't think it'd be successful, but that's because I didn't know earnings and there was going to be an offering in the morning. So when that happened, of course it made sense they were successful. But because it was running green in the morning, I think I was correct in my assumption that they were going to break through and keep pushing up until that happened. And I think that this was just a minor reset. I really do. I mean, stock got killed today, but it got killed worse than I thought. So I think they got not all of their system. I don't know how much more they can do this. I mean, we're talking 200 million shares shorted today, guys. 76% on 279 million volume. That is insane. That's insane. They can't afford to keep doing this. Nobody has that kind of money to just do that every day. They can't keep doing that. Stock does seem bullish. I agree. We should call Adam Aaron about selling stocks in a squeeze. He's pretty good at it. That is absolutely true. Well, here's the other thing about his call options. Okay, so it makes perfect sense that he would want to start selling before options expiration. So it's very possible he starts exercising next week. It is. Or, maybe the following week he starts on Monday and starts exercising a little bit every day. We don't know. But there's no way, in my opinion, he's going to exercise them all at once. That would be very difficult to do, even on his end, putting up the cash. So we'll see how it goes, though. Pull up the link posted. I didn't see a link, Brandon. I'm sorry. I don't know if it allows you to post links in a YouTube chat. Are others doing arcades doing on other stocks? And all companies could offer up a release of new stock issue. Could multiple squeezes be created this way? Theoretically, but it takes a lot of work and time. I mean, this has been going on for 3 years. Calvin, I'm going to start building up my finger in GTI because at this rate, retail is going to win something and spread out their place. I mean, yeah. Listen, my theory all along has been that we get a lot of them, maybe all of them, that we know of that should be running already. The GameStop could absolutely shake up the market to a lot of other ones go pop off. It did that in 2021. It did. Multiple short squeezes in 2021 after GameStop ran. I think that could absolutely happen here again. And so, yeah, if you have deep belief in these other plays, for me, absolutely. Finger, DJT, GTII, absolutely. ZJYL, GDC, I mean, I would say the odds of at least one of them running along with GameStop because of the volatility of creating the market and the way it's going to kill, bleed out hedge funds and stuff is very high. You get at least one, and I think you get 2 or 3, maybe more. Bray, you can't put your finger on the additional shares added to GameStop. Ryan Cohen's going to stand behind her as a legal point. He tried to give the short shares to get off the hook twice. Oh, yeah, there you go. I mean, I do think they've played this perfect for the legal standpoint. I don't think anybody can get in trouble based on the way that's been going. I really don't. He stated he's the same person in 2021. He's retail chosen based on the position. I get it, Kid Biker. I do. Listen, I don't really care that much what he said. It's more of how he did it and when he did it that matters to me. His words right now are just words to me. It's unless he's actually doing something, I really don't care that much because it could all be word salad. He's just playing, he's playing games, which I believe their games are good, or at least as good as a stock. So I don't, but it's like when he says stuff like that, I just, I take it with a grain of salt. He might just be saying something that he wants everybody to hear. By the way, I don't think he is the same person as in 2021. He's much, much richer. And he was not this clever in 2021. I'm sorry. He didn't do the buildups of, like he's doing on Twitter, stuff like that. That is, he's different. He's different. You think GameStop got close finishing off 75 million when it began to base? Stochastics are reset in bottom quadrant. Weekly slope charges higher. Relax and keep much. Absolutely, Kit. I completely agree with you. Yeah. How much did RK make on the first squeeze? I don't know. By the time it went back down, because apparently he never sold, or what he said. I think at the end of Dumb Money, it says like 18 million or something like that. Be a trip if RQ squeezes GameStop, makes huge money, and jumps into some. He might, yeah. Or he might just ride off in the sunset. I mean, we're talking about a guy who at a certain point, if he plays this right with what he's got, I mean, he could be a multi-billionaire after this. Why risk anything else? Why risk being such a public figure and jumping into something else? You say that, and all of a sudden they have a legal case against you, and they can take everything from you. And you better believe if they have an in, they'll go after him. So based on what we know and the kind of money he's going to make off this, I think he runs up GameStop and he's out. I really do. I don't see him going anywhere else. Because he would have no excuse at that point to say he's not pumping by telling people where he's jumping into with a bunch of money after this. This one he's got cover. He's been in it forever. He's already been to a congressional hearing, talked about it. He's got cover right now. He's okay in GameStop as long as he keeps going the way he's going. But if he makes $1.5 billion in GameStop, and then he's like, hey, I'm going to go put 700 million in this play or 300 million in this play. That's when they'll start going after him. I really think so. So I don't think he's going to be able to go into anything else. And why risk it? I mean, at that point, you're set for life. You're set for 5 lives. Couldn't pass up buying 3K of shares in GTII. I know, it's so crazy. I think Richard's on to something with GTII. I really do. And I think there's a plan, and I think GTII is going to go lower for a few weeks. But I think something's coming for GTII, and I think it's going to be awesome when it does. So Kitty streaming on Monday? I don't think so. Sticks to the Uno cards. There you go. Roaring Kitty proved he doesn't make the stock go out. Ryan Cohen has 5 billion facts. There you go. GameStop's GG. What's GG? He had more money than Nancy Pelosi this morning. That's a good point. All of us on Wall Street bets at positions in NVIDIA, INVD, maybe profit with the rest. Maybe. I guess that would make sense. Car symbol has chair Lamborghini. Oh, that's interesting, Joe Boy. Bashfork, you might show up next week with a haircut and suit saying he likes the stock. He believes in the fundamentals, yeah. Well, I mean, and that I think was a call to today what happened with the offering because of all the cash on hand now. I think that's why he said that. Let me see here. I had something else I wanted to pull up. Did I lose it? Here's the dark pools. Late dark pool print, GameStop 6250. Maybe that's the other thing we already saw, but I don't think so because that's not showing a candle right there. The end of dumb money, they put it would never happen again. That's good. They said that? I don't remember that. Financial markets have quadruple witching dates on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. On these days, 4 type of financial contracts. Exactly. Yep. GameStop legend. You look, DJT's finally off reg show. Really? Interesting. Yeah, they're still shorting it to death, so that's interesting. They might have done that just to get Congress off their back. You think the dilution threw them off? Really? I don't know. I don't think so. RK should stay quiet for a while. I may see him again if shorts fold 100%. Maybe. Yeah, I do think he rides off in the sunset after this. I do. And I want to blame him. I really want to blame him. Yeah, make your money. Go off of this. You make $1 billion in one stock. I mean, God bless it. You just go, you put that money into work in safe places because you never need to trade again. You never do. You never need to do a risky thing again. You can go put all your investments into stuff that makes you 2% a year and you're still making millions of dollars every year. I mean, that's how crazy it is once you make money. You don't have to do anything nuts. I do think we have a good day Monday, Dean Doe. I do. I think after this weekend, everybody thinking about it, I think there's going to be excitement to go in on Monday. And I think they blew their load today on trying to short it. Now, it doesn't mean they won't short attack again. That's not what I'm saying. But they had to fight hard to get it down hard today. And on top of that, they also had the discouragement of dilution in earnings. They were able to it was a perfect storm. Perfect storm for shorting. So thoughts on all those call contracts getting exercised? How many were exercised? I think I saw some on that. I don't think I've heard the amounts on those, though, Mad Max. I guess I saw this. GameStop bulls seem to have moved from the 125 calls for June 28th. Volume exploded last hour, trading around 1 million in premium traded. All new seemingly opening volume. 125 calls for June 21st had their OI exceeded today by volume. So I didn't see where they were exercised. You think, okay, definitely playing his character. Go back and watch Congressional Hearing with him. It's totally a different accent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, JR. He did seem different, huh? If he's holding the stock where he's getting all the money. I mean, the theory is... There's two theories that make sense to me. A, he played everything perfect for 3 years, which is very difficult to do. But is it possible? Yeah, it's theoretically possible. And B, he has help. So, no, Andy, I know Ham doesn't care. But you know what Ham does care about? And I know this because I talked to him personally about this. He doesn't get the big deal with our Roaring Kitty, which I understand Ham's perspective. But Ham does care that GameStop goes, and the reason why is he knows if GameStop goes, stuff is going to start popping. He does. So, message received from Kitty: the war officially started. Where did you get that message? What did he say to make you think that? Do I think FFIE play was a distraction? No, I don't. FFIE is so small in general. I mean, I know a lot of people bought in, but it's a small, it's a penny stock, right? I don't think it's a distraction created by the hedge funds. Is it possible? Yeah, I guess it's possible. I don't think so. I think that was just them, them making some run so they can get some liquid, and some people happen to catch into it. That's what I think, because it did run. But I don't think it was a distraction from GameStop. I don't think they were thinking that far ahead. Brett says, I think GameStop will be in the 40-50 range by the end of next week, plus FTD's coming up for the first run. Yeah, there you go. And I agree with him. I think 40-50 makes a lot of sense for next week, and then we could very well be off to the races of next week. So You wish Ham would coach on options? Ham coached on options all last summer, and he got reamed for it. He got reamed for it because people kept losing in finger because they wouldn't play it right, and they just held. And they got mad at him every time. So I don't think Ham's coaching options anytime again. Even though his coaching was perfect. It's just people didn't want to trade it. They just wanted to hold. AA is not RC at all. No, big difference. Yeah, the AMC is, I'm sorry. I hate saying this because I know there's especially new people in here who don't know the whole story on why I feel this way. But listen, AMC's a nothing burger in my opinion. You might get triple your money right now, which still means you're down 90% from 2 years ago, but you might get $15, $25 somewhere in that range on a run. But there's no MOAS, so that's what Adam Eric killed it, in my opinion. Brandon, you looked at GTI for the first time ever. If it bombs this week, turns around next week, it's good for several week run. You think so on GTI? Interesting. Cohen gave the shorts an out, they tripled down. Yeah, exactly. 740 and down 80, holding forever, maybe sell at 855. Gamestop was able to get earnings release out of the way early rather than next Tuesday's schedule. No hiccups for the client. Oh, I agree with you, Michael. And listen, from that perspective, it was brilliant. They got it out of the way. They did. And now it's clear to just do whatever the next 2 weeks. And listen, there's people expecting a dividend being announced. There are other good things that could be coming. There could be a merger coming up or an acquisition, all kinds of stuff. His wife works for Goldman Sachs. They want to take down Citadel and BlackRock. Really? Goldman Sachs? Is that Steve Mnuchin just trying to kill everybody? Mad Max says, my understanding those calls of exercise will cause gamma squid. Oh, okay. Okay, Mad Max. I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood what you're saying. You're asking me what happens. I thought you were telling me a bunch of options were exercised today. Oh, dude, if he exercises those options, I agree with you. I think gamma squeeze immediately. I really do. Yeah, absolutely. Why do I think GameStop 40-50 next week? Because I think the strength, I think they killed it today too, and there's a new bottom. Okay, the new bottom is 26 to 28, somewhere in that range, because of all the cash they just raised. And I do think we'll find out next week or the week after that they raised cash starting today with that offering. And so now they have a new floor. They crushed it today. They crushed it because the offering, that always discourages retail, and they crushed it because of earnings. Earnings were bad. We'll just be honest. They were bad. But it doesn't matter because they're flush with cash and they're changing the direction of the company anyways. So it doesn't matter. But next week, no bad news coming. Like they got all that out of the way. It's all out of the way. Everybody's still really bullish. Retail is locked in, and that short attack today cost them dearly. And it's not that they won't attack next week. It's not that there won't be halts. There's still going to be all that going on. They're going to fight till the bloody end. You're going to have to rip this out of their fingers. But when you rip it out of their fingers are going to come with it. It's going to be devastation. It's going to be bloody and gross, but we're going to kill them, theoretically speaking, financially speaking. The shorts are going to die on this one, but they're holding on for dear life. Why do I think it'll be up next week? Because that momentum they cannot stop. And that 40-50 is not that high from where we're at. We're talking $12, $20. We just did that yesterday. No big deal. So I absolutely think that's very possible. And then things could really ramp up in the next week. As long as Kitty is holding those options to exercise, and everybody knows he could basically create a gamma squeeze on his own. As long as everybody knows that, everybody's going to be locked in bullishly. How's my son doing with his cash? Thanks for asking. He gets it off Monday. He's very excited. You're eating enough gummies to make ham drool. Hope that helps, Thomas. Want ham options coaching simple is only buy cheap, far all the money calls. That's it. That, and then trade them. Trade them when you get the chance, so that you so that it costs you nothing, and then let it ride. That's what he says. So If you want to clean up short AMC when GameStop dumps. What? I don't understand. Adam Arwong? That's a new one. Graham King, the GameStop guys sold their shares high after early earnings report, manipulated huge volume to inject the new 75 million shares, diluting everything. That's why it was halted. I guess maybe, yeah. Take Adam and wipe your hair. Ew. Tweet rumor finger and Apple next week or so. Listen, I don't think there's going to be anything to that. It'd be shocking to me, but if it's true, it could be huge. GameStop acquiring Toys R Us? No idea. Got more finger, DJT, GameStop, and GDC today, or something in your spirit would not allow you to buy any AMC. PTSD started to kick in. Well, listen, Darren, maybe you're just listening to me too much, but that's how I feel about it too. You're welcome, media. Am I validating you? Well, that works. Do I think he's going to roll over or exercise him? I mean, I think it depends. He's going to do what's best for him and what's best for the stock. But I think, I mean, if the momentum keeps peaking up the way it's going to, I think he'll exercise him. I do. Shorts have to wear Speedos next week. Thought the GameStop sell-off would have been lunchtime, not pre-market. You were going to sell and buy back in cheap. You missed it, Mad Max. Sorry. Did I see the massive wick to 63 and after hours? Yeah, I talked about that. Let me bring it back up since we're talking about it. Where are you? That's not it. Here we go. Yeah, 3 times. 3 times up to 63.87. Absolutely nuts. Theory lurking around RC dilute to stop a board takeover. Listen, the other theory is like some Ham presented, which is that that the feds came to GameStop and basically were like, you need to let the short, because remember, the last 2 days it was being reported everywhere that they don't have the shares. That if Kitty exercises options, they don't have the shares. And so what happened? 75 million plus 45 million, which happened a couple weeks ago. That's exactly 120 million, which is what they needed. And so the thought going around is like, one of the thoughts going around is that they were told, like, you better get this out there. You better get out there. But then they shorted so much, it doesn't even matter. So stupid. Acquisition targets to be those with high profit markets would rise faster in GameStop flagship. There you go. That makes sense. 3,000 per share in GameStop squeeze still realistic? I do think so. I mean, I don't think it's probable, but I think it's possible. If I had 100K, what would I put it in? Oh, man, I answered this the other night, but I would just spread it around. I definitely get more GameStop because I think there's momentum here. But I would up my position in DJT. I'd up my position in Finger, and then I'd sprinkle into GTI at the end. GTI is so stinking cheap; it wouldn't even take much to get a ton in there. But GTI, I was also not going to do as much because I think it'll be one of the last to go at this point when a lot of other money pours in. But I think GameStop could basically set off DJT and Finger, maybe even at the same time. So I'd want to be in more of those. Why'd they have to post losing numbers early? I think just to take advantage of the momentum at the time and try to get out of it with the least amount of damage. Ryan Cohen revived Kenny Rogers Roasters. That would be awesome. I need the chicken, Jerry. Burning my retinas. I love that episode. Helps for nausea and swelling. All right, Thomas. Man, I'm so sorry what you're going through, man. How you feeling? Earnings not as bad as it seems because all the leases in stores are lots of malls, leases around. Well, I don't think the future is bright for the stores. I'm sorry. And the reason is not because of real estate, anything like that. It's not because of rents. It's because people are getting more and more away from physical games. They're buying more digitally. And GameStop as a store is just losing that excitement more and more as that happens. And so listen, their losses were actually lower, but their earnings were also much lower. And it just shows you that whole business is drying up. It's still be around for a long time, but it's going to be much, much smaller. And it's just not going to be enough to support this company for what they want to do with it. They have to change the business, and they are. I do think he's going to change it into more of a holding company like Berkshire. The next move, I can't tell you, Luigi, what the next move would be. I can just tell you the things I believe in, and I just talked about those. Coast short squeeze last time. That's awesome. Yeah, see if you can catch it, Aaron. Go for it. Explain those 3 candle wicks touching 62 in aftermarket. Well, Alan, there's 3 orders that popped up like this, and very interesting. Apparently, they were orders, or it's believed they were orders that were held off from earlier. So here's BAM right here. You can read it. I already read it earlier in the live. 120 million shares went to the option riders. The short's still short. There you go. And that makes a lot of sense to me, Jesse. Absolutely. I do think it'll be profitable next week, Sloppy. I was just saying that. I think your 621 call is going to come back to life. Absolutely, Anthony. I think you have a lot of hope still. It's 2 weeks away, and there's a lot going to happen in the next 2 weeks, in my opinion. I guess it depends on what price you're at. I mean, if your price is insane, but I think it's very possible. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not telling you anything for sure, but do I think it's possible? Roaring Kitty decides to exercise his position in the next 2 weeks. Yeah. And if he does, I think it's going to be off to the races. I really do. Brandon, you're completely wrong about DJT, man. Trump's not going to. Trump's going to be president, dude. I know it doesn't seem good, but I'm telling you, he will be. Also, that trial is about to be a mistrial, and on top of that, DJT is extremely shorted. There are some rumors that they're looking at buying TikTok, which is why Trump just got on there. And on top of that, there's a massive, massive short position in that stock with a low float. So I'm telling you, I couldn't disagree with you more. I think DJT is going to be huge. I think it's got a huge squeeze. And also, I'm sorry, like Ryan or Devin Nunes, if I want anybody fighting this war for me, like if I want somebody to acquire, do all that, Ryan Cohen's great. If I want somebody fighting corruption on Wall Street, I wouldn't want anybody more than Devin Nunes, who's the CEO of DJT. I mean, chair of the House Intelligence Committee for the House of Representatives. The dude is brilliant. All he does is think of how to beat these people. I mean, DJT is going to have a squeeze. You just watch. It's going to be massive. All brick and mortar stores are a bad investment in online shopping. That's very true. That's very true. Grew up at the junkyard for bikes, yard sales for toys, and the zoo as a Muppets. Oh, man, Thomas, I'm so sorry, bro. We keep praying for you, man. I'm so sorry. That's awful. Second kitty exercises, the price will jump insanely. Yes, well, theoretically it should, because he will... Listen, he's going to force them to bring in all these shares for him. We're talking 120 million shares. That should absolutely spike the price. And if it breaks past a certain point, I think it's over. Yeah, you know. You have 621 $32 calls. Oh my gosh, I think $32. You should be absolutely fine. The Bears are not beating the Niners this year. Media, you're funny. Your quarterback has paints his nails. That's not going to beat my Niners D. RK's calling their bluff, seeking DRS's shares. They kick him off E-Trade and then they'll moon. Maybe. That's an interesting thought. Better chance of Hunter going to jail than Trump. Absolutely. Did you see Biden said he wouldn't pardon him if he goes to jail? I'm telling you, he might not pardon him, until after if he thinks he'll win. If he got back in the presidency, I guarantee you he'd pardon him. If Trump doesn't win, there'll be civil war. Well, at this point, man, I'm telling you, there is I don't think civil war. I think revolution, just people against the government. Because after what they just pulled, man, nobody's going to believe Biden won fairly. Not a single person, except for people who are completely, crazy liberal Kool-Aid drinkers. Most liberals won't even believe it, though. The smart ones won't. Rumble will be good. Yeah, I think Rumble has a lot of potential, absolutely. They won't sell TikTok. There are two major people trying to buy TikTok right now. One of them is Kevin O'Leary is working with a bunch of people to get together a TikTok deal to buy it. And so is Stephen Mnuchin, who is Trump's Treasury Secretary, which is where DJT comes in. So, listen, everybody says they won't sell, but if they put together a great deal, it's very possible. Oh, Brandon, man, listen, I get it. You can trade the charts, fine, but I guarantee you right now, your chart would not have said DJT would have been up this high and holding this long in the beginning either. Technicals are great, but technicals are not always right. Even Rory Kitty said that, man. He said that today on his stream. You cannot trust charts for everything, especially with highly manipulated stocks. They'll trade for a while in the range of the charts, but then they can break out the chart all the time. We see it. So I'm just telling you, it's for me with DJT, it's the fundamentals of the squeeze and who's fighting it. That's why I believe in it. It has nothing to do with charts. I don't even care about the charts on that stock. Cataclysmic. I believe to fulfill Kitty, if he exercises all his options, it's 120 million shares. TikTok becomes American owned, they'll have to ban it in China. Well, that's not my problem. 3,500 team rushing yards for what team? Kitty could have caused a squeeze today, but offering stopped him. I think GameStop, a squeeze started yesterday. And I think it would have continued today if there hadn't been an offering and the earnings out. I really do believe today we would have pushed 75, and if we broke up there, maybe 100. But I absolutely agree with you. But I think they believed, for whatever reason, and we'll see if they're right, I think they believe that if they did what they did today, it was going to shore it up for a better run after. So we'll see if they're right. If Chicago beats SF, I have to paint my nails. Hell no. I got thousands of people who watch my videos, man. I can't paint my nails. But I'll ship you a beer. How about that? You ship me a Chicago beer, I'll ship you a North Carolina beer. I'll pick out a good one for you. I think DJT is going to be massive. So, DJ Gamers, Keith Gill's being very smart, wait until they least expect it. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. If GameStop works, I don't have a price prediction, Anthony. What I can tell you is this. The math says that anything for 2,000 to 3,000 is very possible. My gut says that it's more likely to just push up around 1,000. But I could be completely wrong. Brandon, I disagree with you, man. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you think, but I don't think Trump messed up by giving it over. I think the whole point was to let them have 4 years where everybody turned on him, and now the whole country will be behind him when he gets back in, pretty much. That's what I think, and we'll see. There's a rumor going Biden's next speech, he'll get lost on stage, misread teleprompter, and poop his pants. You mean like he just did? That's funny. Will DJT ever hit 50 again? It's only 5 away. It just hit it, 2 weeks ago? It's not bad. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's 120 million calls. My bad. I was getting my numbers mixed up. Brandon, I'm not knocking charts, man. I'm just saying that they're I don't think that I don't think they can always tell you the potential of a stock is my point. Will DJT reach 50 at some point within the next year? Are you kidding, Luigi? DJT was over 50 for like most of the last 2 months, or well, close to it. It was over 50 several times though. And even past 70. Trump should license MAG on sports apparel. I don't think he can license MAGA. Okay, Luigi, I saw you posted 5 times. You don't need to keep posting it. As long as Kitty's in Gamestop squeeze. Listen, the most important thing with, in fact, Ian, what's his face, did a great video on this. Ian Carroll did an awesome video on this today. Let me pull it up. It was today or yesterday. But I'm not going to play the whole video because it's too long. But is this it? Yeah, it's this one. All right. So anyways, you guys want to check out this video. Oh, I made his eyes all crazy right there. But he talks about how it's not the retail doesn't move the price. Okay, we all know that, right? We realize that retail doesn't have enough powder to move the price. But what retail can do is buy enough so the shorts are trapped. They cannot escape. And so what it does is over time, as accumulation builds, eventually it breaks the algorithms. It breaks everything they're trying to do. And that's when we finally squeeze, because they're so underwater, they're so trapped, it just gets worse and worse for them over time. And then it breaks. So that's what was I responding to at this point? As long as Kitty's in GameStop squeeze. So as long as Kitty's in, like you said, retail will hold. And so, yes, I agree with you. As long as he's in there, they're trapped. Pittsburgh, you think Pittsburgh will break 3,500 team rushing yards with your guys rushing? No way. No way. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess, never mind. I just remembered you had, if Justin Fields starts, I think you have a chance at that. $1,000 GameStop. What math is that? Brandon, the math on that is that with at least 100 or at least 1.5 billion shares shorted, which is the estimates I've seen. I'm not saying it's, I don't have the exact numbers, but some very smart people have looked at that, said it's very possible. If you believe it's naked shorted, maybe you don't. You take I took the what's it called? Man, I'm getting tired. The float number and that number, and ran an algorithm based on what the last GameStop squeeze with all the numbers I had from the previous GameStop squeeze. I took all those numbers, updated them to today's numbers, and ran it through the algorithm, and out came the price of $3,000. And so I'm not saying it will go $3,000, but I'm saying like the math based on what all the numbers I have. If maybe my numbers are wrong, but based on those numbers, it came out to 3,000, and I'm saying based on that, I'm saying conservatively, I think 1,000 is possible. That's what I'm saying. That's where I come out with those numbers. And I realize that's crazy because that would be the equivalent of 4,000 back in 2021. I know it's nuts. I've also, if you watch me more, you would know that I said even last night that it's completely possible that it squeezes maybe to only like 150, 175 and it's done. I tell everybody, be careful. Don't hold for, take profits on the way. Be smart. Get your profits. And then, if you want to YOLO the last 10%, 20%, whatever you feel like, let it go. But be smart. But if HKD could go to 2,500 and TOP could go to 300, I mean, these are all very possible. Still trying to figure out, they're trying to get Biden hyped up for the debate. He's going to be taking those drug tests, man. How we get Ian and Ham together? I've already been trying to do it, man. Key was down 300 million today. He's happy to. I know, this is crazy, huh? Looking awesome. It's not that simple. Once it fully breaks, they can lose control. They can lose control. And anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. There's been plenty of squeezes that have just broken out. It's rare. It's hard, but it does happen. It depends on if everybody holds. That's the thing. Yeah, there's tons of naked short pressure. Absolutely. No, I mean, Anthony, that's not true. There, like you say, 1,000 per share, every holder would be millionaires. I mean, at 1,000 a share, if you had 100 shares, you're 100,000. But it's, you know, you have to still have 1,000 shares to be a millionaire at that point. And most people don't have that many. When Cohen bought 100,000 shares on the lit exchange in March 22 with a price about $10. Oh, there you go, Robert. That's interesting. 1,200. Wow. Brandon, you're just Mr. Negative, huh? You're just completely black-pilled, dude, huh? Everything Brandon says is completely black-pilled, and all he does is trust the charts for trading. I've already read you, Brandon. That's exactly what you are, aren't you? Well, sorry, man. You're wrong. Okay. But I get it. You probably had a lot of hard stuff happen to you. You've probably never had the big thing happen, so you've completely ruled out it ever being possible. And now you've decided that every single thing, the bad guys are always in control. There's no hope for our country because Trump gave up. There's no hope for shorts squeezes being massive because they control it all. And we just got to follow the charts so you can make your money here and there. And that's it. And because nothing really good ever happens, right? I get it, man. I got you read. I appreciate you, but I'm just not going to take any of your opinions in that area because I don't have room in my life for hopeless people. I'm telling you, Trump will be president this year, and it's going to be a lot different next time. And I'll bet you all the money you make on GameStop on that. Invest like it's incest. Always be ready to pull out. Had a dream you sold your XRP and put racks in a finger. My opinion, do I think right now is an entry point for GameStop stocks? Yeah. I mean, that's not financial advice, but I'm telling you, I think this is close to the bottom. I really do. I think the bottom is now higher because of all the cash they're getting. All right. So, and I already said this a couple times in the stream, but if this is the bottom, if it's going to be $26, maybe the bottom 25, that means you're close to the bottom already. What they did today was they made the bottom higher. Okay. And so it's not like before it went down to 18. Brandon, do you even know what you're talking about? I said that Trump's going to get back in, and you said, you're the one who said it was rigged. You said that he turned it all over and screwed everything up, and there's no hope in there anymore. I do think a lot of things are rigged, but I also think we can beat them. And you're the one. Listen, you're telling me I said things are rigged. You just said, what was it? You just said shorts are not underwater. They're free to crush the market because the direct register share diamond hands have no effect on the market. You're telling me I'm black-pilled? That's absolutely not true, by the way. It's absolutely not true. Accumulation does kill them over time. So I don't know what you're talking about, man. We can have different opinions. That's completely fine. I'm just telling you, I can read you. You're coming in here thinking you have all the logic. You're just like, I have it all figured out, everything. And any of you guys who think anything else is possible are crazy. That's so. But, well, that's fine, Brandon. I don't have hope in Trump. I have hope in God. But I believe that Trump is our leader right now who has the chance to get us ahead and get our country back. And it's not hope in the man. It's hope in the mission. And he represents the mission. So, anyways, I'm not doing this with you anymore. It's getting boring. Anyway, you don't have to watch me, dude. Okay, you don't have to watch me. Yeah, Patrick Byrne had the SEC, and I'm telling you, a lot of things are rigged, but they're about to become de-rigged in the next few months. But it's going to be a fight to get there, that's for sure. So anyways, yeah, if I'm buying GameStop, like I'm pretty much maxed out right now. But if I had cash right now to get in this, I would be jumping on this price. I really would. I really would, because I think next week and the following week are going to be very exciting. I really do. Thinking about getting November DJT 50-60 strike calls. I mean, those got to be extremely cheap, right? That would be super fun. I think, I mean, that's pretty much, to me, because you'd have plenty of time to trade them too. I think that's a pretty risk-free option there, Whitey. Let's go brand too soon. No, it's never too soon. Brett, people need to keep in perspective. You're doing limit orders, the price is running up, fluctuating order might not get filled. Yeah, that's 100% true. And market orders screw you on price. Totally true. Absolutely. Crit Trumps, I'm going to say and do Trump things. If they actually try to debate, I'll be the best comedy hour of the year. It's going to be so great. I'm telling you, I'm live streaming that debate. Good Lord, we're only... let's see, Thursday. Yesterday was only 3 weeks away from the debate. Oh, I'm so excited. So exciting. That's going to be awesome. Jesse, after the 4-1 split, I have over 3,000 shares. Sadly, I sold them when I lost faith in GameStop. Wish I would have kept at least. Oh, man. Hey, listen, we've all had issues, man. We've all made those bad decisions. It happens. Emotions do get us. Nobody trades perfectly without emotions. It's just, and if they say they do, they're lying. Everybody makes an emotional trade every once in a while. Derek, at $20, the market cap would be trading super close to just their cash on hand. Exactly. Kevin, what do you want to talk about Trump's conviction being overturned? I'm telling you. Listen, you guys want to talk, like, my hope, like, and faith that Trump's coming back is that conviction being overturned, which is probably going to happen now, because some idiot ran their mouth the day before on Facebook that he was going to be guilty, just proving it was rigged. I mean, these people can't help themselves. You're going to go from 91 indictments, 91, not indictments. Is it indictments? My words are slipping tonight. I've had a few beers and it's late. But anyways, 91 charges, maybe that's what I was looking for. Anyways, 91 something going after Trump, multiple cases, and they all fall through. If this one falls through and they can't even use the he's a convicted felon anymore because it's a mistrial, oh my God. And I'm telling you, the man is divinely protected. That's all there is to it. Nobody gets out of all that. It's impossible. You have the entire government and media against you, and you're going to emerge unscathed. It's just not possible. So that is how it's going. That is how it's going. And I do think he's going to get out of it. I don't know if it'll be through mistrial, but at this point, it'd be very hard for them to put him in jail. So I'm very excited about that. Automags. A lot of people might lose their easygoing Fed job with change of administration. Yeah, good. Listen, I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but they need to lose their jobs. There's so much bloat in the government. Let them lose their jobs. It'll hurt for a small time, and then the economy will get rebuilt and they'll get better jobs. And that sucks, but you know what? We got to make hard choices to get our country back on track. So, but that's all the question of the cheat sheet still screw up. Exactly. Brett, guy talking about price on GameStop. Look at the open interest on the options change. They pushed it up price wise with max pain. They can't afford to deviate that far from it. No shares a hedge. That's a good point. Brandon, go. Yeah, the juror talked to his cousin. A preconceived notion of guilt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the support. Thank you much, sir. You're welcome, and thanks for the cheers. You bought me a beer. I appreciate it. Robert Kapke, Dr. Phil interview, a very significant Dallas attorney who swears a conviction will 100% be overturned. I love it. That is so exciting. So exciting. Brandon, are you kidding? Are you throwing a pity party now? All right. Brandon, you're boring and annoying. You're going bye-bye. Bye-bye. Sorry. Don't sell your diapers on the way out, you poor soul. Oh, I'm so sorry you got picked on. You can go cry somewhere else. Poor boy. He's so sad. Sitting over there throwing a pity party for himself. That's hilarious. He's gone, Jesse. That was lame. I love disagreements, but that wasn't a disagreement. That was you're a moron for having hope. And then when I called him out on it, he went, well, you're the one saying. Then he tried to project. And after he projected and got called on it, then he went straight into pity party mode and how we're a cult. It's like, okay, buddy, you're not here to have a real conversation. You're here to dog on everybody. That's hilarious. Torn with the Dr. Phil thing, get comment advice. Listen, I don't know what I think about Dr. Phil. I think he used to be for real, and then he got really rich and famous, and I don't know if he's a con man, though. I just, he did a great interview with Trump, though. That's true. It was one of the best interviews I've ever seen with him. Well, Robert, where do you think Ken Griffin is Trump's back? Ken Griffin and Trump hate each other. Are you kidding me? Ken Griffin went all in with DeSantis. He hates Trump. I don't have everything pulled up right now, but I did a whole live on this and showed all the clips of Trump calling out Ken Griffin and then Ken Griffin saying like bad stuff about Trump. They hate each other. And Griffin put all his money behind DeSantis trying to get Trump knocked out. Brandon might be a short, yeah. Let's go, Brandon. He was lame. Dude needs a girlfriend. Yeah, right. Listen, I'm not saying I'm a big Dr. Phil fan. I just watched the interview because it was on Twitter. It was great. Great interview. Good night, Barbara. Have a great night. Oh, my God. It's 1 a.m. All right. I'm going to have to take off here in a minute myself. Brett, kills you when people come in, try to shill. Do these people actually think we're not going to put them on the card? No, they're ridiculous. Cult of personality. He went on the short bus. He had to go bye-bye. He was lame, man. That was so lame. So lame. Anyways, guys, it's 1 a.m. I didn't realize how late it was. I had to do this live because there's so much to talk about today. So I hope everybody feels better. If you didn't know what was going on, nobody for sure knows what's going to happen. Okay. So before I end, let me say that. But I personally, after working through my emotions today, I personally have looked at everything and I really think good things are coming. I really think GameStop is still primed to run the next 2 weeks. I really do. Does that mean it will? Absolutely not. There's no guarantee here. It could get pushed off. So, but the fact is that things are really in a good place for this. And I am excited. I think next week's going to be good. I think we're rebounding from this. I don't know if we'll have like a huge day like we did yesterday, but I think it's going to climb. We'll end the week strong, and then I think the following week could get really saucy. But that's all with the the addendum that if Kitty exercises his calls next week, it's going to get interesting very fast. So we're gonna see how this goes. But I'm excited. I'm very excited because you guys know, like, I believe so much in DJT and Finger and GTII, these other stocks, that I think GameStop goes, and I think it's off to the races for more and maybe all of our short squeeze stocks. So it's a good time to get excited. It really is. General. So the big boys sold the top, loaded the bottom both ways, long and short. Killing must sell for profit or exercise. Checkmate. See, I love it. I love it. Sounds good to me, man. All right, guys. God bless you. I'm going to take off. I'm exhausted. Don, thank you for the donation before the end of the night. I appreciate that, sir. Absolutely love my honesty. No motives. How do I feel about Trump's 66 floor and weird connection to the dark side? Is he Cyrus 2? Jesus is first. I don't know anything about Jesus is first. I mean, I don't think Trump is like a reincarnation or a specially created human being, anything like that. I think he's just a man who answered a call upon him, and I think God's rewarding him for it. I really do. But the Cyrus 2 thing, I think the similarities are interesting, the prophetic similarities. And I don't know anything about the 66th floor. Connections to the dark side, if you mean like the old people who in positions of power, my personal opinion and belief is that he was one of them, but he was never into the dark stuff. And when he found out what they were really into, going back to the Epstein stuff in the 2004 area, once he found out, I believe he found out in 2004, and that's immediately when he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. He banned him. And after that is when he started changing against the rest of them. And so that's where I think he is. I don't think he has connections to the dark side in any other way. But that's all I know. So, but thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. What if RK doesn't exercise calls and lets them expire? I highly doubt he'd let them expire. He might roll them over, but I don't know why. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Melody's getting a heart cath on Monday. Please pray for her. Oh, okay. Melody. Pray for Melody. All right. Sloppy, it's okay. Listen, Sloppy, you're newer to my chat. I'm very political. I'm a political scientist. I always talk stocks and economy first, and then as the chat gets later, I open it up. So I definitely welcome political talk towards the end. I don't care, and I'm not afraid to, some people don't like it, and that's fine. They drop off. I just had a bunch drop off, and it's fine. It's fine. Come for the market data. Stay for the politics if you want. That's kind of how I do it. Sometimes we do pop culture, have fun. This channel is not one thing. All right. And so I always start with something, and then it's a live show. So I kind of go where it goes. And that's how it works here, Sloppy. So if it's not for you, it's cool, man. Peace out. I already talked about GameStop. I really don't have anything else to say unless you got questions. But I do always open it up at the end. So I don't care if people ask me other stuff. I like to talk politics. I really do. That's why my channel is different. And it's also why I'm not growing as fast as some of the people who are always this, but, who are always one thing. And that's fine. I don't need to be. I want to run my channel the way I want to run it. If they expire in the money, they get auto exercise. Interesting, Jesse. I didn't thought about that. You better believe that he's gonna exercise his options though on his time and his what works best for him. So I really think that I think he'll exercise them before they get auto exercise. RK could walk into a bank, get money to exercise. Any bank would take a commission of that. That's a good point, Brett. I hadn't even thought about that. Politics with stocks, that's why you're here. Trump doesn't push vaccines. He actually hated vaccines. You can go watch old posts of him. He doesn't believe in vaccines. The only reason he pushed the COVID one is because he had no choice. It was either get a vaccine out and unlock the country, or let Biden come in with no vaccine against COVID, and then Biden would have federally locked down the country. You can guarantee it. You can mark that 8, dude. 100% Biden would have locked down the country if there wasn't a vaccine. Trump never forced it on anybody. He never told the government they had to do it. Any government employees, anything. He doesn't push the vaccine. He's never walked it back. And, he's imperfect. I wish he would. But he never pushed other vaccines. You can look back. That is not true, even in the slightest. There is so much evidence that Trump was anti-vaccines before the COVID one. And I think the COVID one, he was pushed between a rock and a hard place. Either let something come out that I don't agree with, but people will have a choice and freedom again, or not push this out there and let the guy who just stole the election, who's a communist, come in and lock down the country. And I think he chose to give people the chance to get free. So, Brett, you're here for the truth, and the politics, economics come with it. I know. It always makes me laugh when people are like, "Don't talk politics." I'm like, first of all, that's the problem. That's how we got here in the first place. People don't talk politics. Secondly, what the hell do you think everything revolves around? Everything about the market is political, whether you like it or not. This is not just a money play. You think GameStop's just a money play? No, hell no. It's a political play. This corruption exists because of politics. It does. Because we put the wrong people in charge, and then it just got worse and worse and worse as they embedded themselves. I mean, come on. It just cracks me up when everybody's like, don't talk politics. I'm like, whatever. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings because you don't agree with that. It's just ridiculous. Like, come on. Everything is politics. Everything. There's no getting around it. And if you want to pretend you can get around it, you don't know what you're talking about. You think this market gets fixed without politics? God bless you. You're naive. And I just hate when people say, don't talk politics. I think it's ridiculous. You have to understand how it works into everything. Roaring Key's not started yet. When you exercise calls, it's over for the hedges. 12 million shares can cause a squeeze. Anthony, I don't think it's just the 12 million shares. I think it's how it could happen, the impact of all of it together. I really do. So how many pants does Diaper Joe go through in a day? I think it depends how long he's wearing soiled Depends. If they're in there too long and it gets stinky, then he's got to change the pants. But maybe if they get the Depends changed enough, maybe he can get through with only one, Croteau, all those hours of money invested in GTI, very frustrating. Seems like well, you know what, man? It could go there. I'm not going to pretend it's not impossible. But I can tell you one difference. GTI, the shorts are still trapped. And on top of that, you have amazing people working behind the scenes to make sure that doesn't happen. So there's still a lot of hope for GTI. Jesse, exercise options are required to deliver real shares, so 12 million could cause. Thank you, Jesse. That much more articulate than mine. I was hoping for the rip in GameStop to transfer to DJT before the RNC. Oh, that's it. Well, it could still happen, Sky. You got plenty of time. Whale teeth. I didn't see whale teeth. Listen, Brett, you're right about NVIDIA. I think there might be some shiesty stuff coming out of NVIDIA in the next few weeks. Based on this investigation that just got picked up. You're welcome, Avalon. God bless you. Jesse, you agree Ryan screwed us today? Still have the last 100%. Sloppy, you're completely wrong. You think it would still exist regardless of you're so wrong, man. And I tell you why you're wrong. Patrick Byrne is one of the leaders in looking for market to fix the market from what it is. He single-handedly, with his company Overstock, fought the SEC, hedge funds, everything, and won. He got his stock to short squeeze after a year-long battle. I think it was 6 years. He did it. He knows this better than anybody how it works. And you know who Trump is going to put into position of SEC chair when this is over? It's going to be Patrick Byrne. And we had Patrick Byrne on a space call tell us that. He's one of Trump's advisors. Told us that Trump has told him he's going to be SEC chair if he gets back in office. And he said he will end naked short selling on day one. So there you go, man. I actually have facts. I know, listen, it's really easy to play the game where both our choices are bad. It's really easy to play that because I'm sure you've been force-fed how evil Trump is from the media and all this stupid nonsense that's ridiculous. Maybe your college class taught you that. Maybe you are a liberal just starting to wake up a little bit because of the market. I don't know where you're at. But I can tell you this. All the bad stuff about Trump you've heard is an absolute freaking lie. The dude is on point, and he is going to get us back. And that's not me being a worship savior. That's me being a political scientist of 20 years and telling you that I've never seen a better president get more done in 4 years, despite all he had against him. I've never seen a man fight harder for a country, lose half of his fortune to become president. Every other president makes millions and millions of dollars. Anybody who thinks Trump works with the deep state, anybody who thinks Trump is part of the establishment, especially after all the lawfare, I'm sorry, but you have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm not going to call you a moron because I don't think you're a moron. But almost everybody who still believes that or is saying that is a moron. They are absolutely retarded. And they're either saying it out of being corrupt or just having no idea what they're talking about. And you seem like a smart guy. And so I'm not going to put that on you. I am telling you, you're completely wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. And you should actually do more research. I encourage you to do more research into Trump and what he's going to do, and stop spouting talking points about no matter who we get, it's going to be worse. Honestly, man, I don't know how in the hell anybody can say that with a straight face. Have you gone to the grocery store lately? Because that's not Trump who did that. Have you filled up your gas tank lately? Because that's not Trump who did that. Have you looked at the border lately? That's not Trump who did that. So if you honestly think it doesn't matter who we have in there, that's crazy, man. Just because Trump couldn't fix everything in 4 years doesn't mean he won't get more done this time. Okay? Because I'm telling you, in a second term, when you don't have to run for re-election, you can go scorched earth. And after everything they've pulled on him, I'm pretty sure he's going scorched earth this time. So we'll find out. But I'm telling you right now, man, you're wrong when you think it doesn't matter. Okay? But like I said, I don't think you're an idiot. I'm not going to call you out like that. But I am telling you, you definitely need to do more research if that's your opinion, because you're completely wrong. You're not even close to being right. Dallas, you don't have a dog in the fight with GameStop. Made thousands of shares of Finger. I'd love to see Finger take off. It will. And I think Finger, percentage-wise, could be bigger. Robert, Trump and I lead with politics. Kenny boy hate each other. Exactly. Yeah. Trump will get his land now. That would be awesome. Dave, what's up, man? GTI down. I have Finger today. Trump 24. I love it. Brett, people don't remember the short hedge fund on Overstock tried to sue Patrick Byrne. The court in Utah told the shorters pound salt. Patrick knows the system 100%. Absolutely. Difference between Trump and Let's Go Brands beyond belief. Take time to be educated. Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying. Go learn more. Candace, other than Trump being brash and telling things like they are, would really like to know what exactly he did that people find bad. He did everything prompts to do, else to that. Here's what he did, Candace, and I'll tell you right now what he did. The one thing people have against him is the vaccine. But when people say that, they don't think about the fact that we would have been completely locked down, which in my opinion would have cost more lives, more businesses, all of that. Okay, so people don't think about that. And they don't look at Trump's history where he was anti-vaccine. So it's like when you put two and two together, it's like, okay, obviously he didn't have a choice. Secondly, people thought in 4 years he would change everything. They thought he would change everything, and they use it as an excuse. He didn't drain the swamp. He put swamp creatures in. No, what happened is the dude got into being president, and he trusted the Republicans more than he should have. He really thought the Republicans were not as rotten as they are. And they surrounded him with people who were undercutting him at every opportunity. On top of that, he couldn't do as much as he wanted to because nonstop investigations, 2 impeachment trials. They did everything to slow him down. And with all of that against him, he still got more done in 4 years than any other president in history. He's unbelievably effective. And now he's going to get into office, and he will have, I'm telling you right now, 65 to 75% of the American public behind him. And with that, he will be able to get everything done he wants to do. The swamp will be drained this next 4 years. You think Biden in going after Trump and convicting him was absolutely one of the best things that could have happened for Trump when he gets in office, because now he's got the go-ahead to go after all their crooked asses. Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush, all of them can be gone after now. And that is going to be fire. And so people don't like him because he didn't do what they wanted him to do. That's what it comes down to. The idiots on the left don't like him just because they've been force-fed such lies. They watch freaking dumbass Rachel Maddow at night, and they all believe that if Trump gets into power, he's going to destroy democracy, or he's going to burn homosexuals, at the stake, or something stupid like that, even though he never did one policy that was racist or anti, LGBT, whatever. So that's why they don't like him. They've either been lied to, or he disappointed them because they expected him to do everything in 4 years. But that's not how the world works. And that's not how, no matter how effective you are, you can't do everything in that first 4 years, especially not when you have a public who still doesn't know everything that's going on, who still doesn't really understand the difference between you and the other side, and who also just isn't ready for it. And so now you're telling me after 4 years of Biden, the public's not ready for him to change everything? Oh, they're ready. They're ready because the country's awful right now, and it's getting worse. So that's what happened, Candace. Jesse, Trump will drain it. I agree. Robert says, Trump's a great guy. I've done business with him and did very well. Trump's awesome. Everybody who meets Trump in person loves him. Everybody, except for dummy Democrats. Do I have any idea who Trump might pick for VP? Who might be groomed after Trump's out of office? I think that Trump's going to pick... I think he's going to pick either J.D. Vance, who is the best pick, but if he picks J.D. Vance, he loses him as a senator, and J.D. Vance is invaluable as a senator. So I think he's going to pick somebody way less exciting, but very loyal, who will just do the job and have his back. I would not be surprised if it's Ben Carson. There's a lot of talk of General Flynn. I just don't see it. I don't think Flynn has the political clout to be up there. But so the answer is I don't know, but I have ideas of who I think would be best. As far as grooming after he's out of office, I think he's going to put Vivek in a cabinet position, and he's going to start getting groomed and hopefully become like a senator next. And I think Vivek could be somebody who's down the road, maybe not 4 years, but like 8 to 12. And then as far as in the next 4 years, I think it's going to be somebody that surprises us. But whoever it is, Trump's going to drain the swamp. He's going to start the culling, so to speak, not for death, but of jobs and government jobs and people in power. And then the next 8 years, whoever takes over is going to have to rebuild. And I think, I don't know who that's going to be yet, but we have to have 12 years. I think we got to get 12 years in a row to really change our country around. Not that it won't happen fast, like some of the good stuff, but to really solidify it. So, Bruce, thank you. They don't like him because they can't control him 100%. Sloppy. So, yeah, you were disappointed his first term. Get it. I get it, man. He didn't address the corruption on Wall Street. I don't think he could have done it that first one, but yeah, the plan's coming. Big JR, stick to sports. What sports you want to talk, man? Celtics are going to win the finals, which is fine. And, the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. And I don't care about baseball unless the Giants are good. So, yeah, Keith Bill's birthday is today. Yeah. So, Carrie Lake, you mean, is awesome? Yeah, Carrie Lake is awesome. I'd love to see her. I hope she becomes governor of Arizona. Hobbs is being gone after right now because of bribes. So, Ficus, we thought it was a swamp, found out it was more like an ocean, hard to drain. No, that is a good point, Ficus. Yeah, I think Trump had plans, and he got up there, and it was so much worse than he thought. And he got up there and said, oh, shit. And he also found out that a lot of the people he thought were helping him were betraying him. But this time, he's had 4 years to vet everybody. He's had 4 years to go over his mistakes in the first term, and he's had 4 years to build a team. He's coming in this time, and it's going to be ready. He's ready to roll, and it's going to be off the hook. I am so excited. I am going to watch the videos of the liberals crying after Trump wins this next election on repeat for like 3 weeks, because that's what they deserve after what they've put us through the last 4 years. Capkey, Trump runs circles, start pulling security passes on day one around everyone. Staff's exhausted trying to keep up. Always on the clock. I love it. Carrie's for senator would be great too. Oh, that's right. She's running right now. Yeah, I hope she gets in. That's right, Candace. None of us did. You're right. The only thing you have against Trump is hearing the damn snake story. What story is that? I don't know that one. We're going past 500, Anthony. I believe we could, absolutely, and I really hope we do. All right, guys. I stayed on another 25 minutes, but I'm exhausted. I don't know if you can hear my voice or not. Later today, because now it's Saturday, I have I plan on doing a members live for you members out there, all you green people. $3 to be a member. That's it for some extra content every weekend. And then on top of that, I will be doing my second class in the spiritual growth class on my Patreon later today. And then this third class of personal growth success, financial success on Monday. So that's coming this week. And you guys can check out my Patreon for that. The links are on the channel and the membership right there if you want to join. But anyways, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Love you guys. I've got to go. I'm exhausted. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for staying on. This was fun. And I will see you guys real soon. All right. God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.